How do you think seafarers kind of maintain their privacy on board the ships?
Yeah, I think in their cabin.
Yeah.
I think that's the massive improvement. And because in the crew mess itself, you don't really have privacy.
Yeah.
But that's why I said I really want to travel with the vessel for a week or two to experience that.
Yeah.
Because in port everybody's busy or sleeping or eating, and then the possibility to deep conversation is not really given.
Yeah.
You have to accept it as a gift when it comes up, and then you have to be ready for it. But yeah, I always imagine me when you're after a long shift and you're eating your meal and you want to go sleep, and then the chaplain is there. How are you? Yeah. So, but I think privacy happens in the cabin.
Within the cabin.
Yeah.
How do you perceive seafarers deal with the possibility of serious incidents or disaster when they're on board the ship?
They are aware that it can happen. They are, in my view, not taking enough. Safety is not enough embodied in the philosophy of the ship. Also depends on the captain.
Yeah.
Sometimes I ask the drills that they do and everything, and they say, we did this drill and we did this drill. I had one seafarer who fell from the funnel while painting, broke his leg, and he said, I thought, were you wearing a safety harness? No. Yeah, so, but they are concerned because we had a crash at our port, and we had a wheeler barge sinking at our port, and also these 270 containers which were loose in January. And I asked them, what do you think? And I said, it's dangerous. But sometimes they still have the feeling it won't happen to me.
Yes.
Yeah. But it does. We had one Chinese seafarer who had his toes cut off by a steel toe, by a steel rope.
Wow.
Who crashed.
Yeah.
Who snapped. And a volunteer of mine, he went to visit. I didn't know that he was in the hospital, but because he picked it up directly, and he went to visit him in the hospital. So it happens. It still happens. 4 years before my time, there was a sailor simply cut in two by a cable.
Yeah.
And that was very hard. Also for his friends who've seen it happening.
Yeah.
There's still this. Still there is a sense of invincibility, I think. Which is still present on the vessels.
What do you think the role of faith has at times where there is a kind of serious incident or...
With especially with Christian crews, Filipinos or otherwise, I think it's not only faith, it's also tradition. When there has been an accident, the ship has to receive a new blessing. I've never been asked that, but my predecessor was, and then you have to go everywhere. You have to bless the bridge, the machine room. You have to, as it were, drive out the bad spirit. So faith and superstition and tradition and everything comes together. Yeah. I think what I noticed is that they support each other. And that can have a basis in faith, even if the Filipinos have different denominations. But I think it's not only faith, but also they know the fact we're in the same boat together.
Yeah.
So and what happens could happen to me and everything. So on a traditional, on a ritual way, faith is important to set things right. If something went wrong, you need to have the chaplain. You have to have a clean slate. How much this works, personal level, I think they have each other.
Each other on.
Yeah, they have more.
Are you okay for time? Or I wasn't sure what the time is. We're okay? What is your perception of seafarers suffering from fatigue?
In my eyes, it's one of the biggest problems and one of the biggest cause of accidents.
Yeah.
Especially when I have a lot of container ships, and I spoke to a Polish chief engineer, and he said we make port every 6 hours in Europe, port hopping, 6 to 8 hours, and I never sleep. There's always somebody who needs to, and this chief engineer's signature and everything. So basically, he has very little sleep for 4 months.
Wow.
And it just says it's one company in particular which is very bad. And it just says it's really affecting me. It's really. And you have all these posters in the crew mess from fatigue is look after yourself and think before you act and everything, accidents and the pressure, the workload is so high that it's just they oh thank God we go past the Atlantic, we have 10 days where we can take it easy a little bit, we can stretch out the routines a little bit, but I think they're aware of it.
Yeah.
And it's also something that captains always say they have no time to talk to you, and then you insist a little bit, and then they rant and moan for half an hour. It's also what they say. It's just that I have so much pressure from above.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel bad to give this pressure. Keep my crew working so hard.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to really be able to do something about that. It's just. And everybody has the perception that it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
I guess for me, the kind of implication that if everybody is fatigued and tired, they enter this kind of position where they can't switch on to tasks, or they can't switch on for work. It just becomes a kind of continuum.
Oh yeah,
of tiredness. I don't know if you have that kind of.
Like I said, get up and breakfast, and then directly to. I think that's 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So you don't have the possibility to unwind. Again, that might happen in the cabin. They might read a book for an hour before they go to sleep. I don't know that. But I think that that sounds like a real problem. That you just you're in this, maybe like you're in the army. It's just sleeping, eating, work in an environment which is constant for 9 months. Yeah.
Do you get a perception of what seafarers do for free time and relaxation? I mean, you mentioned kind of karaoke.
Karaoke. I think every ship has a dartboard.
Yeah.
And I think also depends on the group. Depends on how are they connecting with each other. And otherwise, it's just there are a lot of, especially Europeans, which are just reading a lot. So, yeah. But again, I only see them in the crew mess at lunch, so it's a little bit. Yeah.
It's kind of challenging because it's the real work and life.
Yeah.
It's kind of hidden from you, I find, when you're ship visiting.
Yes. Port is an exception because everybody's busy or sleeping, getting all the sleep he can get, and you will get other impressions from port chaplains which had more experience and already have sailed with for a number of times. There's this one guy, Nelson, in the Cardiff.
Yeah.
You know. He spoke about that. He sailed. He's a Filipino, and he sailed with them for 2 months or something, 3 months. And, you get different impressions. Yeah, you can build up relationships. Yeah.
This is quite a kind of speculative question, but how do you think chaplaincy should evolve kind of over the next 5-10 years?